When you look at that demographic of persons with disabilities, it's actually considered to be the largest minority in the world. What I mean is, typically in every country, 15% of the population has, some form of disabilities, even in some cases, more than one disability. So when you think about Kenya, we are almost 50 million people. That gives us a rough idea of how many people we are dealing with. Globally, we are looking at 2.5 billion people that have a disability, and that tells us something, that disability is a human reality, and that we need to think about, what does the life of someone who has a disability look like in terms of everyday living. So the problem here is around livelihoods, access to employment and meaningful jobs.
This Accelerator program is one of the projects that GIZ are designed to reach out to the youth segment to increase employability of youth and to increase employment opportunities among the youth. So the focus is on expanding capabilities of entrepreneurs so that they're able to do more. So in this our particular project, we are reaching out to a very special category for purposes of inclusion, and the persons with disabilities whom we have selected for this program are those who already have been in their businesses for over 3 years. What we want to achieve are 3 major things. One is to build technical skills to fine-tune and ensure that the entrepreneurs themselves have adequate capacity to do better in their businesses. The second one is to ensure that the businesses grow. And the third one is to also look inside that growth, the opportunities that this business can employ more people.
In this project, APDK has been quite instrumental in playing the role of mobilization of persons with disability, of course, identification from the respective areas of operation they are operating from. And of course, we managed to give a data of about over 100 persons with disability from the start go. And of course, we did a baseline, which gave us a data of 40, which is actually the target for this project. And of course, with a gap analysis to understand their needs. Of course, this project has quite been unique to APDK because for many years we have been focusing on service delivery, but we are looking currently about if you keep out a wheelchair, what is the use of that wheelchair? And that we are looking at issues to do with entrepreneurship. We are looking at issues relating to capacity building for persons with disabilities to engage in business, both in terms of self-employment and also formal employment, which we are very key. And we are quite happy about the partnership between Strathmore University, APDK, among other partners allied to this project. And we are looking forward to ensure that we deeply understand the needs of persons with disabilities, build their capacities, follow them up, run learnings, and then learn from the project. And I'm sure at the end of the day, we will be touching lives for persons with disability.
We are expecting to go through business training, which covers various topics. However, ultimately, we are gearing towards the improvement of these businesses. And most important, I'd just like to mention 3 areas. One of them is ensuring that these businesses access finances, whether it is through a public-private partnerships arrangement. They are able to access finances so that they can invest and grow. One other area that I would like to mention is that one of formalization of these businesses. After doing the baseline surveys and interacting with the businesses, we realize that most of them are operating at an informal basis. They are not properly registered. And then thirdly is areas around accessing markets for their products and services. And this is very key because if they have to grow and incomes have to emerge, they really need to have good access to their to services and markets for their products.
He said that when you learn a skill or something, you retain up to about 22% of what you learned is what you're likely to find yourself retaining, say, 6 months after a learning intervention. But when you go through a coaching session and you actually put into practice what you are taught, that percentage of retention goes up to 83%, yeah. So we, Strathmore Business School, have found that using the action learning process, we enable people not only to maintain what they've learned, to keep what they've learned, but also to actually practice in a sustainable way, to make them put to practice whatever it is they need to learn, and in an individualized level. Typically training tends to happen generically. You have 20 people in class, you're receiving one piece of instruction or knowledge or skill. But when it comes to interpreting that personally for the benefit of your own business, because you're dealing here with entrepreneurs, you need personalized action and personalized project, personalized approach to what you've learned. So that's what I'm here about.
Majina naitwa Francis Kulia Doti. I'm a shopkeeper. On the other hand, I have a side hustle, milk distribution. I do distributing milk in large quantity. After this program, I'm expecting to grow my business, like capital, how I can improve my profit, and how to enter to the market, like digitalization, something like that.
Kwa majina naitwa Roda Iminza from Githurai, na biashara yangu nafanyia CBD town, Nairobi Center. Kulingana na biashara yangu, kulingana na hii training venye niliitwa, biashara yangu mimi hufanyia chini. So ningependelea at least kulingana na training venye tumeitwa, at least ni move on. Niko na biashara kubwa, then inaweza hata andika watu kama wawili hivyo kunisaidia. At least inaweza walipa, cause ukiwa na disability na kwa hard ukiwa na kazi nyingi.
Most projects, that are funded for a specific period of time, unfortunately end when the projects, when the donor funding ends. That's not the idea for this project. I think there's a bigger vision and ambition on both sides of all the parties involved to see what's the long-term outcome, and how can this be a learning point that informs many initiatives that could come out of it, so that you're looking at creating bigger impact for persons with disabilities. So it's going to inform how, say, Strathmore University approaches education for persons with disabilities. We are going to learn so much about what are the gaps, and what could be the solution to those gaps.